Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Annalie here, and today's tutorial is going to be fall glam. So stick around. I will be having audio playing all the products I use, and everything will be in the description box down below. Make sure you to subscribe so you can see my videos every week, and stick around.
Hello my beautiful souls. So I already washed and cleansed my face and applied my daily morning moisturizer. You can use any kind of moisturizer you have. Now the face primer I'm about to use is my absolute favorite by Marc Jacobs. It's an undercover perfecting coconut face primer. It actually refreshes your skin and primes at the same time. It's super hydrating, which is my go-to for glam looks. This might not be preferable for my oily skin type gals. It's typically for normal to dry skin type, just a heads up. And also, this primer also improves skin surfacing before applying foundation, and makeup stays on longer. The foundation I'm about to use is the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. I got this foundation a week ago and tested it, and honestly, I'm digging it. You don't need a lot of product to get a full-on coverage. Literally, a dab can cover half your face. You're about to see. This foundation is absolutely weightless. It doesn't leave your skin oily or shiny after applying. For contouring, I'm going to use a different method. I'm only going to use one of my Fenty sticks. The reason for this is since the Match Trio sticks are matte, I'm not going for a matte finish for my fall glam look. But I love the way the mocha stick contours my skin and it blends so well. So I'm only going to use my mocha contour stick. Now for the concealer, I'm using the E.L.F. Hydrating Camo Satin Finish in the tone Fair Warm. And by the way, I almost forgot, the shade I use for my foundation is tone 1.1 Fair Light, and the undertone is neutral. And I mentioned this previously already, but I will have every product and shade in the description box down below. So if I don't mention the shade, which I'll make sure I'm mentioning, it will be in the description box down below. Next, I'll be bronzing in the SUNDIPPED GlowKit by Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Bronzed. I'm bronzing around the areas I contoured. And for blush, I'm using the Trio palette Berry Adore by Anastasia Beverly Hills as well in the shade Velvet. Now this blush Trio palette is super pigmented, so when applying the blush, do so very lightly. Now I'm going to be baking my face with my Laura translucent powder. I'm just going to bake around the areas I concealed. You won't be able to see the baking process because I'm very light skinned, so I hope you can kind of see exactly the areas I applied to. For my brows, I'm using my Brow Artist spoolie to brush out my eyebrows first before applying anything. Next, I'll be using my eyebrow pencil to lightly shade in my brows. The pencil is called Perfect Brow Pencil in the shade Dark Brown by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I shade in at first lightly. Then I use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Gel in the shade Soft Brown. Even though the shade is soft brown, her products are super pigmented, so I use a shade lighter when it comes to my brows. I love the high pigmentation with her products. A little product goes a long way. The gel really sets into my eyebrow hairs, so when going back in with my eyebrow pencil, I can really shape them without my brow hairs moving. And the other product I use to conceal around my brows is another Anastasia product. It's the Eyebrow Concealer Pencil. It's my old reliable. I use it not only on my eyebrows but on my blemishes. After finally finishing up with my brows and shaping them and concealing them, I put in my eyelid primer. I use a MORPHE primer for this. This primer is a 12-hour long wear and it's waterproof. When using this primer on your eyes, it will not crease your eyeshadow, which is a plus for me. Now for eyeshadows, I'm going to be using two eyeshadow palettes. One is the Too Faced Natural Lust, and the second is going to be a Morphe eyeshadow palette. The Morphe eyeshadow palette is called 35G Bronze Goals. So the first palette I'm going to use is the Too Faced Natural Lust in the shade Buff It Out. This is the first shade I'm going to use. The second shade I'm going to use in this palette after buffing it out is Embrace Me. Moving on to the Morphe palette, the 35G Bronze Goals, I'm going to be using the shade Earthquake, and I will be using the shade on the edges of my eyelids. The next shade I'll be using in the Morphe palette is called Soul. Now this shade is very golden, so I can see why they called it Soul, but it really makes your eyes pop and stand out. It's very pigmented. It's just a really nice golden look. I'm applying this shade in the center of my eyelid area and my teardrop area as well. I'll still be on the Morphe palette. I'm just spraying my eyeshadow brush that I'm using with some setting spray. So I'll be going in with the shade Summer Vibes next. I'll be applying this shade in the center of my eyes, blending it in with the Earthquake brown bronze color I have going on in the corner of my eyes. I will be doing the same thing I did in the center of my eyelid area with the Summer Vibes shade, also in the bottom of my eyes. Okay, so I'm all done with eyeshadows for now. We will be using some towards the end, but for now I want to start applying the eyeliner. The eyeliner I'm going to be using is by Morphe. It's a liquid liner and it has the pointy tip at the edge, which I love because it helps me accomplish the winged eyeliner look. Alright, so I'm all done with one side. I'm going to go ahead and finish the other. It's really hard for me to apply eyeliner on camera. I kind of have to look in the mirror. So I'm going to just quickly apply this and then I'll get right back. Now that I'm done with both sides, I'm going to apply my false lashes by Anastasia Beverly Hills. These lashes are called So Hollywood. After applying my false lashes, I'm going to go back to my Too Faced palette, Natural Lust, and I'm going to go in the shade Love Spark. I'm going to apply this shade at the teardrop area of my eyes. Okay, so I'm going to now put on my mascara. The mascara I'm using is by Milani, highly rated. It's in the shade Black, and I will be blending my natural lashes with my falsie lashes. Finally, at last, we're all done with eyes. Now we're gonna go ahead and highlight. We'll be using the Becca highlighter in the color Champagne Pop, and just highlighting around my cheeks, nose, forehead, and upper lip. So it's time to set this makeup with some setting spray. I'm using the E.L.F. setting spray. Normally I'll use my Morphe illuminating setting spray, but I recently broke the cap on it. It dropped on the floor, so I'm improvising with E.L.F. Lastly but not least, let's add some color to these pale looking, dry looking lips with some Huda Beauty in the shade Demi Matte. I know my hair is looking nappy and crazy, so I'm going to straighten it to complete this fall glam look.
Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure you subscribed, and I'll see you all next week.